Greetings, beloved. Okay, I just want to share something briefly with you. I think this could be useful. Um, we um, we have women and we have men, but there's no such thing as the masculine and the feminine. Okay, well, I guess there is, but it's not something that mm, we need to emphasize as we are moving forward, except to build and create with it. So it's not that there's no such thing, but um, we don't need to limit ourselves to this concept of masculine and feminine because we have it both in us, and we can use our awareness of it to move forward in progression. So what I mean by that is, just consider, like, we have the color green. Well, we start off with green, but we know that we can also start off with the primary colors as well, like blue and yellow. Well, that becomes useful, but once we have green, we don't go backwards, right? We're not going to take the blue and the yellow out of the green. We're going to use the green and our awareness of the green, just like we have this awareness of being in this body that has both this masculine, so-called masculine and feminine within us. So let me kind of go a little bit further into this. So we know through science and the observation of the baby in the womb that once we are we have been conceived within the womb, we produce a brain, and then we produce a heart, and then we produce a central nervous system that continues to grow and build. But what happens also is, as this nervous system is developing within it, we have these energy systems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll just deal with those right now. We have these energy systems that build up within us, and also begin to develop organs and everything else that help us function. But one thing to kind of point out in particular is that when we're dealing with our sacral, so we've got 1, 2, 3, our sacral here, we're dealing with something that we have the opportunity to see divide. Or it's not actually division, it's actually multiplication, because if we're going to divide something, now we're going to say that we've got half of this and half of that, but that's not really how cellular mitosis happens. We have something that starts off with 1, and then we find out that it duplicates itself into 2. Well, when that happens, and this happens with all of them, but specifically here, this is our space where we where we use our inspiration to create in the earthly plane. So when we find that the cell division happens here, we find that we have this energy that expresses itself differently in a potential man and woman. But what I want to remind us is that we do not begin to develop these organs until weeks into the pregnancy. Weeks. This isn't right away. So we have the potential, both man and woman, we have the potential from conception to have man and woman in us. Either way, we are fully, let me see, I have these seeds. Keep seeds in my pocket. This seed has the potential for everything in its plant. All of the flowers, the potential is right here in this seed. So as a man or a woman, the potential is there within the embryo from the very beginning. And then there's this expression that happens, but that so-called masculine and feminine is in there all along. It's still here, right? It's just a matter of how it's going to be expressed. So here we find that in the woman's body, potential woman, the legs here, we find that that energy goes inward, right? So here we have our ovaries, and then there is going to be another organ here, okay, which is more of like our canal, right, and going into our womb, and then there's a smaller organ here, okay, because there's another energy that splits itself. So we have this one that splits this direction, because of course we're in the 3D, right? So, you know, the things on the 3D plane are, you know, we have these double planes here. And those planes have an axis that they build upon. So we have this plane here and here, where we've got these ovaries developed. And then we have the exaggerated plane that goes inward, with another organ there that shows itself outward, which we would refer to as the clitoris, right? But not so fast, because we have the other option of expression here, where we can find that instead of going inward, we find that these organs go outward. Okay, same energy, but now we're talking about a different body. Now we're talking about the body that allows that energy to fall below instead of above. Not only below, but on the outside of the body, protruding. Not protruding. Well, yes, it's protruding, but that's not the word. Projecting, right? It's projectile. And so we also have an exaggerated version of the organ here in that projectile sensory organ. And then we also have the smaller version up here with the prostate, right? So what I'd like you to see is how what we're looking at here is a puzzle piece. What we're looking at here is a body that would function, one on this plane and another on this plane. Isn't that neat, right? Isn't that beautiful how the human body experiences itself, especially when the pieces are together? And what we're talking about here is a man and a woman coming together to put the puzzle pieces together, because this is really what we're looking at here. And let's see here, this and this, right? And we've got this and this. Now for the male, we have, this is happening here, and this is happening here. That's a little high. Right here. All right. So female and male, or man and woman. I'd rather refer to it like that. Okay, man and woman. All right. Piecing each other together. Oh, sorry. Because all of these parts are very present. The prostate and the clitoris are very present. So, but they're in that same space. Okay, you see that? Do you see the cooperation, the collaboration that happens with these energies as they come together and unite, both man and woman? But not only that, I'd like you to maybe even maybe observe that the energies are in us all. It's just a matter of how it's being expressed. And we have the opportunity through our emotional maturity to learn when we are going to use what energy we have between this one or that one. So there are polars, just like there is green that comes from blue and yellow. We can still, of course, paint with the blue and the yellow. But let's please acknowledge that what we see growing on this earth is green. Green. The combination of the two. And we have the accessibility to actually tune in to this. Now, if you don't believe me, I've done a little bit of research, and it just so happens to be that that there's this fantastic energy that can be triggered there in this particular area, right? And so there's like this vortex that can be kind of like pulled together in this particular area, especially when they're all, kind of, charged and doing what they're supposed to do, within their potential. But with that being said, there's evidence of it. Okay. Now, this really all came up a long time ago when I was having a conversation with a gentleman, and I had expressed that, we all kind of have this stuff in us. And he didn't believe me. And that's fine. That's fine. But then I had to go out and investigate, right? And I did a case study. And it just so happens to be that where these organs are located, there is some evidence left there. There's evidence left here, right here, between this energy and this energy on a man's body, on a male's body. There's what we call the scrotum. There's a little divot. It's a little divot. I haven't seen it in the anatomy books. I can't tell you what anybody else calls it, but I call it the ball fossa. And there's this little divot that's right there, and you can see like this little divot right there where the vagina would have been. And it's a beautiful thing to observe and see that the human body, and when I say I've done studies, I mean I've had people report to me, so if there's any curiosity, there's something, just kind of fun fact to just kind of look and see if it's a fact for you, or or someone or whatever the case is. Earth is homeschool. Go out and have fun with yourself, right? So we have all of this going on, but what's really, really cool is what happens when, again, like I said, these energies come together, because we have the opportunity to create not just a baby. It's small fry stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. That's 3D stuff. Okay, that's the 3D is just the reflection of what's happening already in the mind, in the creative factor here, because this is a mind. This is a mind. Now, just to kind of, I have to give some disclosure here that this is really my hollow mind perceiver students are. This is really for you, okay? Because I want to show you something that happens in the mind, because this is what I see. We say that we're conscious. Well, when we say we're conscious, what does that really mean? Okay, because what we're really looking at here what we're really looking at here is a picture of a mind. Because when a man and a woman come together in this type of energy, there is a thought form, there's an energetic force that is created here within this. We call it kundalini and all kind of different things. There is an energy field that is being developed right here. It becomes a mind, because there our consciousness, it works as a uniform awareness. And through our awareness, we go through our preconscious, we go through our subconscious, our waking conscious, our continual conscious, our superconscious, our subliminal conscious, before we even get to the hollow mind perceiver, right? So I just want to just kind of point this out here, again, for those who are studying this with me, that we have, do you see it? We have our conscious, subconscious, or preconscious, subconscious, waking conscious, superconscious, continual conscious, excuse me, superconscious, and subliminal conscious. So what we also have here is our spiral, because after the subliminal conscious, now we find that we have hit the hollow mind perceiver, which then goes in and divvies up the mind and our perspective and our situation, literally shining light on this lens here that then reflects through our eyes, projects outward onto the screen that we call life. Now, this is the mind. This is the picture of the mind here and within the cosmos, right? But this is also unifying the man and the woman with the sensory organs that are right there. Now, let's just, let's talk about this here just a little bit. So the sensory organs and what I'm talking about, because I'm not just talking about sex. I'm talking about the arousal and the energetic field that is created with the sensory organs. So, we can consider ourselves and how we have this inversion here. Okay, this inversion as we enter into this world where we have man and we have woman, and when they combine, they become one body within the fourth dimension, fifth dimension perspective here, right? And then even in the physical, in the 3D perspective as well, becoming one body. There is a creative, there is a creative endeavor that is possible when we talk about the chemistry that we have between a man and a woman, and how they reflect off of each other within the way that we combine. So if I were to now speak about, let's say, my nose, right? And my nose as a woman is projected, but let's just say as a man, this was expressed somehow differently. It's going to go inward. I mean, we're talking about now, because we can come together, I can smell things that I never smelled before. So because I can now smell things that I never smelled before, I'm able to alert myself. I'm able to see things and be aware of things that are in different areas or whatnot, because I had experienced the smell. And when we experience smell, we also experience taste, right? There's a shared experience there. Well, that's what I'm talking about here when I'm talking about a particular chemistry coming together in this area, heightening the awarenesses because of a sensory input, the arousal, because it's sex is one thing, but we're talking about the arousal, the energy that's pulled together with our companions, with our counterparts. So I just wanted to share that, be you, stay true, and share what you do. Okay, think to live. That hollow mind perceiver, hey, if you want to study that more, I encourage you to contact Mimic. Okay, for the melanated dominant, and for those who are not melanin dominant, then contact the law of time. That it's an amazing thing to see how the brain connects to the cosmos and how we can create all of this together. So think to live. In Lakish Alakin. I am another yourself. One love.